All right, as always, here's the risk disclosure. Trading futures is risky. Know what you're doing before you do it, and you can lose all your money. Also, this live stream is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. And my trading is not intended for you to copy my trades. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Morning. DT, Chris, Richie. How's it going? Yep, we got news in about 1 minute. Or now. Morning, Jim. Morning, Tony. Let's see what the market does here.
Potential setup A on NQ. Potential TX on NQ.
Morning, Bill. Yeah, so definitely a dark zone right now with this news. Check this out. Market went down exactly to this ZOI crash on the 30 tick and bounced. That's about 11,295. 11,295.50. That's the low of the day now. So we'll let this news settle down a little bit. Oftentimes after a news run like that, it'll like to recover to around where it was trading at before. Doesn't guarantee it'll happen, but most times it tries to at least get back to where it was. In this case, there was settlement right below where the market was before it ran down. So I wouldn't be surprised if it came back to settlement and kind of chopped around there a little bit and then made its move. I mean, it's only about 12 points away from settlement or so. And then after news, even if it settles down a little bit, I mentioned this before, I don't like taking the first LRE after news because of the reason that it does like to usually get back to where it was trading at. So in this case, it'd be up here, way up here above the ice level here, around 11,355, 11,347 area. So if this comes up to this ZOI, where this the solid line is for the LRE, I'd expect this to I'm kind of expecting this to come back up to settlement, but we'll see what happens. It looks like that ZOI crash was at the end of the day yesterday. If you look at the 50 tick here, scroll back to the left, yesterday afternoon, right before the close, that's where it was.
Potential TX on NQ. Potential set of B on NQ.
Morning. Bon dia, Luis. Vegas, morning. No, y'all have not missed anything except for news came out about 5 minutes ago. So just kind of waiting to see what happens next, where it wants to go, what it wants to do. All right, so by the way, for those of you that was on yesterday and saw me having some issues, I know later, so I rewatch. That's why I like making these videos too. I do rewatch them later in the day to see, it's like I keep saying, it's like a football player watching film after a game. So I was watching and I was like, man, I still don't really know what happened. So last night I was really dissecting what happened and I knew it was something up with the trade copier. So I don't know if y'all remember, but I had a dedicated account for Simplicity, and I ended up dedicating 3 accounts to Simplicity. So I had a good mix, half to my, half my funded accounts, half my live account, and then some Simplicity accounts. So yesterday when I set up my my trade copier, I usually have, how the trade copier, you can open tabs at the bottom. So I had it set up, one tab for my LRE and then one tab for my Simplicity. And that's what I've been doing. But yesterday on my Simplicity side, I accidentally selected my PA accounts. I don't know if it was both or one. So what happened was whenever I took the Simplicity trade, it triggered all my accounts. But because now it was weird, it kind of crossed since it triggered one account on one tab and then another account on the other, it took it as a leader, even though it wasn't a leader. Well, the account was a leader for my LREs. So since it took the trade on my Simplicity side, it triggered it as a leader. So basically, all my trades were like triple. And that's why I was getting notifications and pop-ups and all kinds of stuff because I have my manual in Rhythmics risk amount that I set, and it was hitting that. So that's kind of what was going on, and I didn't understand, but now I do. Yeah, so that sucked. So yesterday, my loss limit on the day, yesterday I literally lost double that amount. So instead of taking 1 day to recover a bad day, it's going to take me 2. But I could still have a profitable week, even with that happening, as long as I do good today, tomorrow, and Friday. So be careful. That's completely my fault. All right, we're back up to settlement like I kind of thought would happen. Now, let's see if it keeps going and gets back to where we were trading at before the news, or if it decides to chop around here. And because of all of that happened yesterday, it led me to, more thinking. I'm always trying to think and how to improve and things like that. And I decided to go back to my bread and butter. What I'm really good at and I can really focus on the most is my LREs. So I'm going to be doing LREs and not really any Simplicities anymore, because I was thinking that if I never was working on Simplicity, that would have never happened. And not only that, is that I just need to be laser focused on LREs right now anyways, because you can make great money just with LREs, like really, really good money. And later in the future, as I'm, you know, in a different position, trading full time, all that, counts built up a good amount, then maybe I'll bring simplicity back into the equation. But I think also, when you're looking for two different setups, sometimes you're not as focused on one. Like I could focus all my attention on LRE and take only the best LREs. But when I'm kind of splitting my focus with, is this a good simplicity breakout? And I don't know. Basically, I'm just going to focus on my LREs again, taking only the best trades. Because that's when I do the best. And it's also hard too for me right now that I'm limited on time. I only have my set time every morning pre-market. So I really do need to focus on the best trade setups that I can take versus trying to expand my trading right now. Yeah, because if I could trade when the market was open every single day, then of course, you can get some great simplicity runs, right? 20, 30 points is nothing after the open for a simplicity run. No, I don't think the live is, because ever since I've been live, I was already splitting LRE and simplicities. I think it's the setups that, and I mean, the market hasn't been exactly great last week. There was a lot of slow and choppiness happening too. If anything, the lives actually help me. They do help me. They help me stay disciplined, even though I haven't had any discipline issues in a long, long time. It still helps a lot. And also watching the replays.
Potential set of A, set of B on NQ. Double cluster NQ.
Yeah, so it's kind of chopping around the settlement. Kind of expected that. Chopping around. Yeah, don't have to worry about recording and all that. It's already recorded. I've been trying to add in chapters after the replay, though. So, if anybody wants to jump to the trades. But being live, too, makes me focus a lot more on the charts and not, get up or look at the phone or get distracted. Which I'm pretty good about that anyways, but there's been times where I start typing or look away and look back and I'm like, oh crap, I missed that. Might be getting an early entry short here. Both lines are angled down. We did break the low. So it's a short here, simplicity short. Not sure if it'll, yeah, see it's already pulled all the way back up. That's why I like staying away from settlement and not taking any trades around settlement. I like for it to get away from it.
Double cluster NQ.
Have the FOMC statement this afternoon at 2 o'clock if anybody's going to be trading at that time. Fed funds rate is probably 75 basis points, but market could be kind of quiet up until then. So I would have extreme patience today. At the same time, if you see a great setup, take it. Yeah, Chris, let me do that. Tap the monitor, make this thing move. Today is the last day of the Halloween Apex Supercell too. So it ends at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're going to grab any more accounts, make sure and do that before the deadline. Turning it upside down helps. Haven't tried that one. Speaking of, I saw they came out with that huge, I think it's like a 50 or 55 inch curved monitor that you can tilt or like swivel, turn sideways. That thing is crazy. I don't know if anybody's seen that.
Potential OP rejection on NQ. OP rejection on NQ.
If this goes short, if this ends up running short, I can see it coming back down and testing that crash again. Let me pull that over. Here's that crash. After the news, it ran directly down to it. But if it does go short and starts heading that way, you got to look here. We have a lot of OP in the middle. So it could be a bumpy ride going down. Have the double clusters and ZOI right here on this 11, 3, 12, 50 area. So I would think it might run down to that, then maybe pull back a little bit, hesitate, before it runs down to the ZOI crash. That's if it goes short. But if it does that, I'll be looking for an LRE short to go with it somewhere. Excuse me. Just know you have to expect some hesitating if it does happen. And if you expect hesitation, then that allows you to sit comfortably in a trade instead of, hopping out too quick or closing it early, things like that. Yeah, I think it's a Samsung. Yeah, you're right. I saw the like an ad or something with that, and the guy, turns it and he sits back and he's just looking all the way up. I mean, I already kind of feel like I'm doing that anyways with because I have two 27 inches in front of me and on top of each other, and then the rest are 24 inches. So I can't imagine. Yeah, I know. We have Black Friday coming up pretty soon. Might as well just wait a couple weeks. If you need anything, pick up something. Amazon always puts out some good deals. I need a graphics card. So I'm waiting to see if I see a great deal on a graphics card, I might grab one. I mean, I guess I technically don't need one. Oh, yeah, Chris, I forgot you said that. I'll have to talk to you about that. Yep, still chopping around settlement. Still plenty of time for it to make a move. I'd actually like it to run above this 30 tick Paul and ice. And actually, there's a 30 tick mini magnet behind it that you can't see right up here below this blue ice level. I'd like it to run above that and then maybe come back down and test it with an LRE long. That'd be nice. Maybe. We'll see what happens as it gets up there, if it does. Yeah, Vegas. Yeah. But I did cheap out on my graphics card when I built my computer. So that is the one area that left that I could use an upgrade for sure. But that's what I mean. I don't need it. All right, we have a long, and it's at that ice level. Let's see if it wants to keep going. Still trying to clear up some of the sinus congestion crap. If you look on the 30 tick, it came up to where those clusters are, way to the left. And it's kind of, that's where it kind of bounced from. Back here, there's these double clusters, croc eyes, as Lori calls them. Went right up to them, to the bottom of them. Laid a red eye zone on the simplicity chart. So let's see what it wants to do. Nice, Tony. Nice simplicity scalp there. Getting a little bit of chop happening. I would like this to move up further higher, closer to that 11,355 area. Now we have a cluster on the current bar of the 30 tick chart. So I am out on any potential setups right now. Because as I mentioned before, if I get a cluster on my current 30 tick bar, then I do not take a trade. So we'll need this to move up higher. What I would like though, let me show you this. So here's the cluster. What I would like for is it to stay where it's at. This bar close up and then get around that 355 area I mentioned, come back down and take an LRE where the cluster is. Because if it closes up, that tells me buyers are in charge. And if it comes back down and tests it, more than likely there's going to be enough buyers there still to push it up as a win. So let's see if it happens. 350, 350 is where we need the price to hit for that bar to close on the 30 tick. The cluster is still in the same spot. Because clusters, they can move up and down the bar a little bit. Until the bar closes. So this is coming back down to the ice where the solid line is. I'm not taking it though. We do have some 10 tick chop and that cluster. We're right on that cluster, so that's going to keep me out.
Trap orders with exhaustion box on NQ. Double cluster NQ.
All right, look at it run down now.
Double cluster NQ.
Yeah, there's not a lot at night. Sometimes at the open of the Asian session, you might get something, or when the London session opens at 3 a.m., you might get something, but it's all hit or miss, really. The London session's better than the Asian Open, but still hit or miss. Good morning, Peter. Yeah, looks like we're making a break now, making a run down. As I mentioned earlier, if this does go short, I think it'll come down to that ZOI crash, and I'll look for an LRE on its way down. This did shoot down pretty hard, so just got to be careful. Got some big time HD happening on the 10 tick. See, look at this. It laid these clusters ZOI here, ran down, pulled back up to test that area with major HD. Although there was no setup or anything there to take, but pretty nice. All right, let's see if it breaks this wall. So now the simplicity lines are cleaning up better because that was a big drop down or a hard drop down. So now it's cleaning up some. We are leaving some clusters here on the 30 and the 10 tick. But if it cleans up and can break below this wall, kind of head towards that ZOI crash, pull back up and give me an entry to go short again, somewhere around this wall or somewhere around here, that would be nice. And I may even trail it and put a target down here around this dynamic magnet and crash. Because if it heads down in this area, there would be not very much doubt that it would eventually get down there. Now check this out. If you remember earlier, I was talking about what would happen if this goes short, how it would hesitate at that area. Check it out. Here's that area to the left. Double cluster ZOI. Look where it hesitated and stopped. Right there. Just a few ticks past it. That's how amazing these order prints are. That told me it's going to hesitate there. And now look, it's coming back up to where this cluster was. Left another cluster, so there's a little bit of a battle. Might hesitate around here. And, could go short. At this point, we don't know, but I was definitely expecting hesitation around this area. Now, an LRE would be here about this red ice level, but I would not take it short just because we have a lot going on here. It could chop around, and settlement is just right above. So this is a testing point where it's either going to chop around here. If it breaks this ice level, I would think it might make its run back up, or, looking for it to make its way down. So right now it's kind of a testing area. See what's going to happen. And as you can see on the 10 tick, tons of clusters. So I'd want it to break short below this wall again, get about halfway between the wall and the ZOI crash, then pull back up, look for an LRE short. That's how I kind of try to look ahead. And see, when I'm only focused on LREs, it's easier for me to look ahead at all this versus right now, or, be looking for a simplicity, because then I have to have my mind split on what I'm trying to look at. So in this way, I'm able to focus 100% on anticipating where I would like potential LREs. And then I'll wait to see if it happens. So if it leaves this mini magnet on the 30 tick here, breaks below the wall, it needs to go at 311.75 to close the 30 tick. There it is. It left that mini magnet. So this now will probably push down and start heading towards that crash. It left a paw and mini magnet right here on the 30 tick. If this is a strong enough level on the 30 tick that I mentioned where it was going to hesitate at, then it very well could chop around here a little bit. But once it gets a clean, it's only the second hit really technically of this wall. Once it gets a really clean break of it, that's why I wait until it gets about halfway between the wall and the ZOI crash before I'm really looking for an LRE. Because if it gets about halfway or somewhere down here around 305, pulls back to the wall now, which you see is kind of struggling to break below. So if it comes down to this area, pulls back to around this wall area and gives an LRE short, then I can hop in and go short. Depends on what order prints are being left behind and all that. You could target this area down here. It would be a nice trade. Dan the man, good morning. How's it going?
Potential TX on NQ.
See now, right now, an LRE would be up at this level here where this Paul was, but I still wouldn't take it because we have all these clusters right here to the left that could really make it chop and head back up. So that's why I really want this to come down below the wall, get down in this 300 to 305 area, and pull back up and test the wall for an LRE. Or just go ahead and run long, go back above settlement, head back towards the blue ice. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. It's either got to run short below that wall that I just mentioned, or need a pretty nice run above the blue ice. So more waiting. That's great. That's great that you were nice and patient. Patience definitely pays off. For sure. I know I mentioned I'm going to put out another video about why people fail evaluations or can't get funded. It's going to have some bullet points, and I'm going to kind of elaborate on those bullet points. A lot of things I learned through my journey. So I think it'll be useful, especially with this sale going on. A lot of people picking up accounts, all that. So it should be, I know I said I was going to have it out either yesterday. Kind of got tied up with Halloween and the kids. I forgot about Halloween, to be honest. That morning, I wasn't thinking about it. So I worked on it last night, and I should have it ready by tonight. So I think it'll be a pretty good one. Not a whole lot going on. Just waiting for it to make its move. By the way, also, I posted in my group in the Apex unofficial trader funding group that I have. I posted it yesterday. I posted a link where if you're using the Apex tools, I made a new group on Facebook for us that use the Apex tools to kind of it's a private group, so not just everybody can get in. You have to go to the link which is in the description here, or you can it's Apex or it's futuresniperbeast.com/FSB group, and I'm making sure I'm trying to keep it real clean, spammers out, just have a nice place where we can all talk and really figure out what works for each other, share experiences, everything with Apex tools. So trading with Apex tools. That's what it's really meant for. It's that way because, my other group, the group with Apex Trader Funding, is people use all sorts of strategies, so I could post a chart from a LRE and probably 90% of people don't know what I'm talking about. So just another area where we can, speak freely and kind of share ideas or whatnot. Yeah. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of volume down here, Tony. Those ice nodes are up there. Looks like we're trying to make our way back up there, but we do have settlement here, so let's see what happens. Oh, that's nice. Vegas, yeah, that. I haven't heard of that. And for those of you that have joined, weren't on at the start of the live, I was mentioning as a reminder that we have the Fed funds rate at 2 p.m. today. So the closer we get to that, the more unstable or choppy or slow the market could get. Just have patience and beware of that. Yeah, I'm going to check it out for sure. Going to check it out and see. $11,390. Yeah, the daily high and the daily low so far is only about a 95 point difference. So it really hasn't moved much at all. On my 50 tick chart, I could see yesterday afternoon without even scrolling back. So waiting for this to keep. I would like this to keep going long above that ice level, as I mentioned earlier. Hesitating at this crash here. This crash, we have a mini magnet on the 30 tick, laying double clusters here now. I think that crash is just a purple ZOI on the 10 tick and copying the teal ZOI from my 30 tick to make it a 10 tick, 30 tick crash. And see, look at this. It's settlement, but this would be an LRE with 322% HD on it. Of course, I'm not taking it. Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm slowly building my live account versus dropping a whole bunch of money in it. I'm kind of I'm trading it, and then every couple weeks I'm just adding a little bit more to it. And I don't plan on really withdrawing for a while. Just kind of let it, see if I can build it up. I use the Ninja Trader brokerage for that, and I don't know if y'all saw. Dang, this has 1700% HD on the 10 tick. I don't know if y'all saw Ninja Trader upgraded or updated their portal. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's awesome, Richie. Congrats. It's always exciting. Is this your first one to get funded, or have you gotten any others funded? Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's definitely exciting. Definitely exciting. Print out that certificate you get, put it in a frame. I did that on my first one. You might want to check out I made a second part to my money management videos for after you're funded. Maybe might be able to pick something up from that as you go into your evaluation. I mean, your funded account. Hey, Dan, so I've been in real estate for a long time and investing in real estate and all kinds of different things. And there's the old saying, if you find a deal good enough, you will find the money. So as long as the deal's good, the money will come. See you, Chris. Good day. It's a good day. Yeah, also that new group that I made for the Apex trading tools. There's a files section on the Facebook groups. So I put all my spreadsheets in there, and any other spreadsheets I add or PowerPoints or anything, I'll be throwing them in there. Nice, Dan. Fredericksburg. I know all about that. I'm in the Houston area, so. All right, I got about roughly 15 more minutes left here. So we'll see if we can make a move or if it's just going to do this until the open. Nice. Yeah, I'm in Houston, well, suburb outside of Houston. Nice. Jeff, yeah, so if you see that the requirement to get the link for the group when you go to the website, I'm making sure and cross-checking all emails and everything because I don't want spammers in there, and I don't want, people coming in there with their negative comments and stuff. So definitely going to keep that a nice, clean, and controlled group. Oh, okay, DFW. Yeah. Just a few hour ride up 45 for me. All right, Richie. Yeah, the link is in the description here. You'll see it's futuresniperbeast.com/FSB group. But the link is in the description on this YouTube video. No problem. See you later, Richie. Congrats again. Have a good one. A little more volumes pumping in here for the 9 o'clock hour. Still not showing me much. Not expecting much. Yeah, last night's game was, whew, man. That one was not good. Were you at the game, Tony? Or you just saw them on a TV? I know for game one here in Houston, the tickets were like the cheapest ticket was like $1,400, and I think standing room only was like $400 and something. Pretty pretty pricey. I mean, it is the World Series, but yeah. Salt Lake, okay. I've always wanted to go out there. I've never been. All right, let's see. Simplicity might want to go long here above this mini magnet on the 30 tick. I'm going to kind of wait and see if this happens and if it decides to go on a run. If it does, then that'll be great, and I'll be looking for an LRE. If it doesn't and continues to chop around, then that may be the end of my day. During the market hours for NQ, I still stick with it. I stick with a 20 tick stop and a 40 tick profit target. Depending on the market too, because sometimes NQ can be just wild, and a 20 tick stop is too little. Typically at the open, I'll wait. Sometimes I would have to wait 20, 30 minutes after the open to let it calm down a little bit before I could take one. But if the market just stays too wild, then I just don't take an LRE or a trade. And if it's too bad, then I'll have to go to YM.
Potential elevator on NQ.
Hey, Nikita. How's it going? You're looking at it. A bunch of sitting here. Hasn't done much at all. Had a couple little moves. News came out at 8:15, and it shot down. Since then, it's just been kind of hanging out in this zone. Round settlement. Choppy. Not much. I haven't taken a trade. Yeah, Dan, that's that's what I really like about it, is that ratio. And that's what really turned me on to LREs too, to where I'm not risking too much to where I have to go into micros, but also, you have a good reward there, good ratio. So 853, yeah. I mean, there was a long there, but it was going up into settlement, so I wouldn't have taken it. Now it's been just kind of chopping around settlement. Yeah, I start my trading session at about, I usually jump in around 8:10, 8:15 Eastern time, and I go until around 9:15, 9:20 Eastern time. But the replays are always, they're always being recorded and saved on YouTube as a replay. I do enjoy doing these lives versus how I used to do my trade reviews. And also, when I first started, I was just recording my entire session and talking. But the problem with that is I didn't have anybody in the chat to ask me questions or to talk to. So I'd have to sit there and kind of try to make things up to say. And it just kind of it wasn't as good that way. Oh, yeah, I didn't know how everybody else did yesterday. I just, Jeff, were you on earlier when I was talking about what happened to me? I guess there's quite a few of you on now that may have missed what I was saying, what happened yesterday to me. Yeah, so I'll go over it again real quick. Since it does not look like I'm going to be taking a trade today. Yeah, so basically yesterday I set up my trade copier wrong on accident. The trade copier, so I had a handful of accounts, my PAs, my actual live personal account, where I was doing LREs only. And then I had some accounts that I was doing simplicity on, some evaluations. And I was working on, expanding my trading, I guess, into simplicity. It was going good. It was going pretty good. But yesterday when I set up normally how I set up my trade copier is on the trade copier, you can have, multiple tabs on the bottom. So I would have my LREs tab and then my simplicity tab. But yesterday when I was selecting my accounts on the simplicity side, I accidentally selected my PA accounts. So what happened was when I took a simplicity trade, it triggered all those trades and all those accounts. But because it triggered a trade in my PA accounts, while on the other side, on my LRE side, that PA was a leader. So since it triggered on one side, it triggered on the other also. So I was in all these trades with like triple the amount that I was supposed to be in. And that's why I was getting all these pop-ups happening and notifications, because I have my manual stop limits that I set in Rhythmic. So some of the accounts were hitting that and some weren't, and I just didn't know what was going on. So that sucked. At the end of the day, what happened is my risk amount that I set that I'm willing to lose for the day, I lost double that. So not horrible, but still pretty bad. It's just going to take an extra, maybe 1 or 2 days to recover it. But which led me to thinking yesterday about what I'm doing. Because I was like, well, if I was never trying to expand on these simplicity trades, then that would have never happened because I would have never had to select all that. So then I was like, well, I'm going to focus, especially since I only really have about an hour or so, hour 15 in the morning pre-market, that I'm just going to get back to focusing only on my LREs, which is my bread and butter, that I take the best, I can focus on the best. And that's what I was saying earlier, that if I'm looking for LREs, I can read the market so much better if I'm only looking for LREs. Because if I'm splitting my focus between a good simplicity, oh, is this a good breakout? Is this, that? Then I can't look ahead, because when I'm looking for LREs, I'm constantly looking ahead in anticipation of what's going to happen. And I wait to see if it does happen and it does give me an entry, and then I take it. But I noticed as I was yesterday kind of going over everything and looking back on the last, week or so, I realized I haven't been doing that, because instead of looking so far ahead for LREs, now I'm focused on, okay, where's the next simplicity entry versus where would I like an LRE to happen. So that was kind of messing me up a little bit. So I'm done with that. I'm back to just doing my LREs, because you can make a ton of money just on LREs, like a lot of money. So it's not the money thing. I was more so focused on the future and trying to expand my trading strategy. And, because in the future, I think it would be, not everybody would agree that if you can make these Daryl type runs and simplicity trades, that'd be great. I felt like I was ready for it, which I probably still could be, but with my time constraints right now, not being able to trade after the open, it's just better if I focus on what I'm best at right now. Yeah. And that's why I was trying to do it. I mean, I was doing it in my evaluations, and I was actually having some really good trades. And that's why I picked some evaluations just for simplicity. But, one little error messed up my other accounts. Yeah, I do think it's worth getting the trade copier. I love it, because then you can, instead of having to focus on taking, like, for example, if you have a money management strategy where you say, this is just pure example, you say, I go for 2 wins a day. And if you trade your account separately, well, now you're kind of doing like 3 different trading sessions. You got to get 2 wins here, 2 wins in this account, and 2 wins in that account. Where if you use the Apex, the trade copier, the Apex trade copier, or any trade copier, then you're just linking it all together, and then you just get your 2 trades for all your accounts, and you're done, or whatever your strategy is. But you essentially are just still trading like if you're having one session. Nikita, yeah, I'm in real estate full time, so in the lending side for investment real estate. JJ, what's going on? How you doing? Good morning. Good to see you. Exactly, Jason. Yeah. So you could trade smaller, and I'm going to go over that in the new video I'm going to put out tonight. You could trade smaller and spread it across multiple accounts for sure, and still make, for example, if you can make consistently, that's what I preach all the time. You want consistency. So if you can consistently make $100 a day, but on a consistent basis, like how many traders can actually pull up a P&L and have a month long of trades, right? And being profitable. I'm sure some can, but then how many can pull up 2 months, 3 months, So if you can make $100 a day, you hook up 5 accounts, well, you're making now $500 a day. You increase a contract, you're making $1,000 a day. I mean, it's just all leverage. Richard, so I actually don't have a dollar amount that I need to make per month before I'm a full-time trader. And the reason why is because I have some goals. I do have a game plan, but I have some goals I want to achieve. Basically, what I'm going to be using all funds from trading is to put into passive income. So my goal is to build passive income with the trading income. And there's all sorts of different passive income streams. Just like we saw at the Apex Wealth event. My thing is real estate. I love real estate, predominantly a multifamily, like apartment complexes. So I'll be putting funds there. I'm going to be looking for property here, probably first quarter next year. And then other streams of passive income. Yep, that's right, Jeff. So small wins, small profits can actually equal large profits over time, for sure. Everybody feels like they got to make 5-10 grand a day, when if you just focus, we saw it at the wealth event. John broke it down how 30 ticks a day can make you 6 figures. Very simple. Yeah, I know who Grant Cardone is. I actually met him a few times. I have a funny story about him too. Yeah, so I'm going to actually turn off my copier. There's nothing happening now. We do have where it almost got to an LRE up here. There is this TX with HD, but it's going right into those double clusters on the 30 tick. We're getting close to the dark zone. So I wouldn't take it. It's still pretty choppy. I don't like the way the market's going. It's almost the end of my trading session, so it's not worth me trying to take this. See, we just off this dynamic magnet. That would be an LRE there. It may win. It's just under settlement, though. There's too much risk. See, and it's popping up. That's why I didn't take it. It's too much risk. I'd hate to go into the end of my session by taking a dumb loss like that. So, going to... Oops, I think I opened something else. Okay. Yeah. Putting it into global sim. There we go. I am done. Oh, that's cool. Richie, Vegas. Yeah, that's cool. I do see him. I follow him, and I see that he's going to Vegas pretty often and doing events and all kinds of stuff. He buys a lot of property here in Houston too. So I read his all his books, Grant Cardone's books, and he always talks about whatever it takes and doing all this and going the extra mile. Well, when I first got into real estate and I was getting into the apartments, multifamily and stuff, I said, I need a partner. And well, I know he's in the multifamily business. So I started looking and calling phone numbers that could be Grant Cardone's phone numbers. And I ended up coming across, I found his phone number, his cell phone, his personal cell phone number, called him, he answered, and I used his own line on him. And I said, hey, Grant Cardone, you don't know me. My name is Shalon Winter. I just need 60 seconds of your time. 60 seconds. Can you give me 60 seconds? And he was just like, I think he knew what I was doing. And so he paused, and I asked him, I told him I'm in real estate, blah, blah, blah. And he said, yeah. He gave me his personal assistant's phone number and email and told me to call her. She'll get me set up and I can, send them deals or whatever. So that's pretty funny. So I saved his number. It still shows up that it's his personal cell phone number because there's been an app like a couple of texting apps, and it'll notify me that, you know, he downloaded the app or whatever. So it's kind of funny. All right. Well, that's the end of my trading day today. Nothing today. I wasn't expecting much today anyways, because of we did have that news at 8:15. We had the Fed funds rate at 2 p.m. Wasn't expecting much, although I would have taken a trade if there was a good one. So it's kind of what you have to do for the rest of the day. So thanks everybody for jumping on here. It's great talking to y'all. Have patience today. Trade well. And I will see y'all later. Take care.